Voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM, AM 1160. Joe Block of the Pirates, brought to us by Diamond Drug, and our conversation brought to you as well by Marcus and Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Joe, good morning.
Hi, Todd. How are you?
I'm wonderful, and I'm glad you're with us here today. It's another beautiful day here today, and we've got a gorgeous weekend coming.
Oh, I love that it's getting warm up north, and can't wait to get the yard work done when I get back home.
I sense that was done tongue-in-cheek there.
Yeah, well, it gets a little disheveled when you're gone for a month.
Well, that's one of the things that we don't really take into account as we should, is the fact that guys like you're down there in Florida doing the job, but you've got the wife and the girls back here in the Pittsburgh area, and I bet you miss them.
Yeah, and we had a boy in October, so we got a little one, little one at home. So 5 and under at home, and my wife Beth is doing a good job, still working as a nurse practitioner and raising 3 kids and trying to keep everything going. And I don't know how she does it, but yeah, I'm itching to get back home. But it's been fun to watch live baseball again with fans in the stands. It's been great.
She's down there. She's up here doing all that work. You're down there watching baseball.
I know it.
Hey, Joe, I don't know, since you don't have as close a contact with the players now as you might in other years, I don't know if you can notice it or not among the veteran players, the guys that know that they're a part of this team and they're going to be key parts for the Pirates once the season starts. Do you sense that the season is getting closer and they're starting to really dial in their games and getting themselves set for the grind?
I was starting to sense it yesterday. The team was off, and for the first time I said, well, I got to kind of think about what do I need to do to get ready for the season rather than just, all fun and games down here. And I said, okay, well, all right, I got to look at this. I got to do this. Okay. So I would assume it's kind of the same way with the team-wide off day yesterday that, all right, you kind of come back and go, all right, well, look at this. Well, we have 11 days from now is our final spring training game, and 13 days from now is the first regular season game. So definitely for the guys that, we're already assured a spot, maybe the gears change a little bit. For the guys that have been competing for a spot, I think they've probably been in that mode, pretty much from the get-go. So, but it definitely does change mentally for players. And when you get down to the stretch, whether it's nerves that take over a little bit or butterflies or just that focus that takes place are usually a combination of all those things.
Yeah, one of the things that we've seen right from the start, guys like Adam Frazier, they've been dialed in right from the very start, and you wonder, are we going to be able to sustain that sort of thing? Certainly not going to be hitting 600 this year, but I'm assuming those guys are thinking, okay, my game is where it needs to be right now, and now it's just fine-tuning. But pitchers, especially, they go to the mound with different goals in spring training, and those goals change as the spring training progresses and it gets closer to the regular season, correct?
Yeah, I'd say so. I mean, if you want to really simplify what hitters and pitchers are doing here, and it's more than this, but hitters are looking to establish their timing, and they just want to be on time. Meaning, when they take a swing, they think, okay, here's a fastball. I'm going to take a swing. I'm going to have a good chance to hit it at the right spot, the way I want to hit it. Okay, and then pitchers, I want to throw strikes, and I don't want to throw strikes in the thigh high in the middle of the plate. I'm trying to throw it at different spots, wherever it is around the strike zone. Okay, so that's the idea of basically what they're trying to do. And when you're doing that, like you said with Adam Frazier, or the way that Newman's been swinging it, or certainly Key Brian Hayes, those guys, yeah, they want the season to start right now because it does go away for a while. All the great hitters, it goes away for just a little while and comes back. And all the lousy hitters, it goes away for 3 months before it comes back. That determines your season, right? So those guys are raring to go, and the guys that are throwing the ball exactly where they want to right now, to simplify it, those guys want the season to start right now. So the guys that aren't, yeah, they want it to keep going so that they have some more time to really get right for the regular year.
Yeah, and certainly what we saw from Mitch Keller the other day was not what he wanted to put out there, and so he's got to really find some answers before we get to the regular season because that was just not pretty the other day for Mitch. On the other hand, the Pirates, they just kept their noses in there and kept plugging away at that ball game.
Yeah, I think it was at 10-9
yeah.
that they lost to the Rays. They were down 8-1 in the third inning. And you mentioned Keller, and that's a great example because last year we saw him be unhittable, literally. In his last 2 outings, he didn't give up a hit in 11 innings, but he walked a bunch of guys. And so you come into spring training and you say, okay, well, he's got to throw strikes. And in his last outing, he did throw strikes. He just didn't throw strikes where he wanted to, and he got hit very hard. I think he gave up 10 hits. And so that's the kind of stuff that you go, okay, all right, well, he's got to work on that some more. And so he needs a little bit more time or wants a little bit more time. But the good thing with Keller is, and Derek Shelton said the same thing, the quote-unquote stuff is there. What that means is he's throwing hard. His breaking stuff is breaking, and it looks very good. It's just where he's putting it. So that's the last component. And you'd much rather be working on control at this stage of spring training than, my arm's not in shape, and I'm throwing 92, and I'm supposed to be throwing 96 or 97, and I can't get it up there. That's an alarming problem if he had that, but It's not there. So it's just got to put it in the right spot. He's done it before. He can do it again, and so maybe in his next start he'll get on the right track.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that because there was Kyle Crick who started, and it didn't seem like he could find any heat at all, and he's been inching it up every single time out since then. I think Derek Shelton's going to have an interesting time figuring out who is on that pitching staff right from the start and who slots where in the bullpen and the rotation, and I'm sure he has his ideas right now, but they've got so many arms that seem to be doing about the same thing in training camp, so that if somebody does start with a rough patch and they'll be at the alternate training site, they can switch guys back and forth like they did last year. I think they sort of learned a little bit about how to work that system last year.
Yeah, and I think that's going to be by design. I think you're going to see 30 teams doing that this year. Not only bullpen arms, but starting guys in the starting rotation. They're going to be shuffled in and out. Guys with options, meaning guys that you can take freely from the minor leagues and back. Those guys are super valuable right now because there's going to be all of a sudden 162 games where there were 60 last year. How are you going to cover all those innings? And starters go less and less and less deep into the ball games than ever before. So you're just hoping that the starter can get you 15 outs on a given night, and then you try to piece together the other 12 with the bullpen. But let's say if that happens and you use 4 innings out of your pen one night, well, you're not going to use those same 4 guys probably the next night. And if you are, you only might use 1 or 2 because maybe a couple of those guys pitched the night before that. So you don't really want to run them out there 3 times in a row very often in this season. So that's going to be the thing that is really going to plague managers is that they've got to figure out how to balance innings and how to do so with guys that can get the outs. You can put somebody up on that mound, but he's got to be able to figure out how to get the hitters out.
Yeah. Well, they've got some guys that have done some pretty interesting things this season. Hey, Joe, what'd you do on the off day? Was it a laundry day, or did you do something really exciting?
Yeah, you know me too well. Yeah, a little bit of laundry, but I did get out, and I like playing basketball a little bit just by myself. These days. But in days past, I've been able to get out to Myakka State Park, which is really, really cool, and Robinson Preserve, which is here in Bradenton. Been able to take a bunch of different paths through there and see the wildlife that's around here. So I've kind of taken to appreciate the smaller things. I think as most of us have in the last year. So I've just been doing stuff like that once in a while when I do get that day off.
Next year, I'm going to come down to spring training. I'm going to say, hey, Joe, show me where this place is because it sounds wonderful.
Yeah, we'll go birding.
There you go.
I never thought I'd say that.
Let's go. Well, generally, I'm looking for pop-ups, and so
yeah.
So that'll be fun. Hey, Joe, thanks so much for spending this week with us. We've had a blast.
Yeah, Todd, same here. I always love talking to you.
All right. Have a wonderful day today, and I guess it won't be too long before we'll be seeing you back up here in the north.
Oh, that sounds good. I can't wait to see my family again and see Bucko baseball at PNC Park. That's going to be great.
It's a good plan. Have a great day.
All right. You too, Todd. Thanks.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160 and AM 11.